All right, and we're live. I hope going live a little bit early will give people a little bit of a chance to start tuning in. I'm going to be breaking down the live commentary of the finals of the ADCC. First up, we got Nikki Rod versus Gordon Ryan. I think this is going to be a very interesting, exciting, and compelling match. Um, I think Gordon and the Nikki Rod fight and Gordon and the Andre Galvao match are going to be similar in a lot of ways, where the fight for top position is just going to be so major, so important, and I think that will be a major determining factor of the match. Um, you know, it's really tough to win in a takedown battle against Nikki Rod, and it's really tough to win in a takedown battle against Andre Galvao. So Gordon's really going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat, per se, um, in either submitting them from bottom position or um, finding a way to get on top. I wonder how good Nikki Rod's leg lock defense is. I remember Gordon talking about Nikki Rod's arm defense is immaculate, but his leg defense um, was a little bit shaky. And you've seen Nikki Rod get finished in heel hooks and other things like that. So it's so important to be on top with this latest ADCC. And Gordon is going to be up against two guys that really can impose their will and get on top better than pretty much anyone else in the game. So that should be an interesting dynamic in these matches. Then we got Craig Jones versus Kanan Duarte, which should be another great fight. They had already fought before, and um, Kanan had gone for a barambolo or a back take off of Craig Jones' leg lock. I have a series that's in the link in the description about all of the ways to go from leg locks to back takes. If you want to check that out, and Kanan had done that on Craig Jones in one of their previous fights, and then choked Craig from the back. One of the few losses that Craig has had, but Craig has looked absolutely on fire through this tournament in 13 seconds. Um then he guillotined Kyle Bame. He had a razor close match with Nicholas Marigali. And I don't know, Craig Jones is a tough test for anybody. Um, but Kanan is super strong, man. And he has a style that's so good for ADCC. Excuse me, ADCC. He's so strong in the takedown department. And he's just so muscular and tough to manipulate and like stone. So, a lot of times the ADCC champions look like Kanan, and Craig will really need to, figure out a good strategy here in how to win, because Craig's main submission from the back, I mean, from his back, is his leg lock submission. So if Kanan can turn that into a back take, that's no good. So you see this dynamic in this latest ADCC of the leg locks and the back attacks, and that's no different in Felipe Pena versus Gordon and Craig Jones versus Kanan. Then in the what is it? Then in the 88 kilograms, we have Lucas Holt Barbosa versus Giancarlo. Giancarlo has been really on fire this tournament, and it's been amazing to see Giancarlo's progress. I mean, his match against Mateus Diniz was insane. He submitted the number one seed in the tournament, and um, he got him with an ankle triangle, ankle senkaku as it's sometimes called. And the way that he triangled him was a very new age kind of triangle. I have a video on my YouTube channel where I show you the modern adaptations that have been made for the triangle. And Giancarlo definitely used one of these, an ankle senkaku or an ankle triangle, where you grab the second arm and the triangle becomes really tight. It's a super devastating submission, and a very, very dangerous one. You have not only the triangle, but from the angle that you're at, you have the arm bar. And with the way that it's locked up, it's really hard to defend, and it comes on really fast. So Giancarlo was able to use that successfully against Mateus Diniz, the number one seed in the division. But him and Hulk have fought before. Should be a very interesting match. I believe Hulk won last time they fought, and Hulk is just hard to deal with. He's like a literal Hulk. Hulk is really strong in the takedowns, and it's interesting that like a lot of these battles that have happened before are battles that are happening again, like Kanan versus Craig Jones. You saw in the third place matchup, Nicholas Marigali versus Rafael Lovato Jr., which was a match that just recently happened at one of the professional jiu-jitsu events. I don't know if it was a Kasai or if anyone remembers what exact event it was, please put it in the chat. Then we have Mika Galvao versus one of the Rotolos. And this is a great repeat of Mika Galvao versus the Rotolo at the World Championship. It seems like when we saw that at the World Championship, this was a fight that you could imagine is going to happen again. And here we see it again, Mika Galvao versus one of the Rotolos. I got to give this one to Mika Galvao. He is just so specific. He's just so precise with his techniques. And I believe it is his precision and his dedication to doing the correct technique with no wasted movements whatsoever, and his efficiency while he does that, that is going to be the route to victory for him in this final against Rotolo. And then we have Baby Shark, Diogo Reyes versus, I believe it's Gabriel Souza. And that should be an interesting one as well. We got KS. Hello from Canada. Hello, KS. Nice to hear from you. Please comment anytime in the chat, and I'd be happy to respond to it. If you care to, please throw a subscribe as well on my channel. It really helps me out, and I'd be happy to respond to anybody's comments in the chat. So that should be the lineup of the finals matches that are about to happen. I didn't see the female matches. I was taking a nap while they were going on, but I'm sure there's some exciting female matches after that. And then there is the Andre Galvao versus Gordon Ryan super fight, which I will also be going live for and commentating, which is very exciting. So we definitely have some interesting matches lined up. The official start time is 7 o'clock, and we are at 7:09. So in typical Brazilian fashion, we are late. So just waiting for the event to begin. Please stick around, guys. If you like, in the description of the video, I have an Amazon link, a PayPal link if you'd like to support the channel, and all of my instructional videos as well in the description. KS says, Team Nova União when does the Gordon Ryan versus Nikki start, and what you figure the super fight will be? Ryan's pretty ballsy to jump in his division and then possibly the absolute and then the super fight. I agree with what you're saying, KS. I guess I got Gordon in in everything. Um, it's going to be a tough match with him and Nikki Rod, where Nikki Rod's just such a physical competitor. I'm sure Galvao will be a very physical competitor as well. And really, I think the battle will be won for top position. And the question of the match is, how is Gordon going to get around the battle for top position? Is he going to pull to guard and go for a submission? Is he going to stand and wrestle with Nikki Rod? Nikki Rod can be a difficult problem to solve because his wrestling is good enough to basically end up on top of all of his opponents, and then his guard passing with his Roddy lock system or body lock system is really hard to stop. So, if I had a wrestler who came into my academy, I'd show him great guard passing, and then I'd show him a great ability to finish while you're on the back. And if you add those two tools into a great wrestler's game, he becomes a real problem for a jiu-jitsu guy since he's always able to get on top. But if Gordon can get on top, um, I'm sure Gordon would just run through his guard like a hot knife through butter and would destroy him from being on top. So if Gordon can get on top of Nikki Rod, the fight's pretty much over, I feel. And if Gordon can get on top of Galvao, the fight is over as well. So there's really, I think, going to be a intense battle for top position. I'm not sure about the absolute, though. I wonder when the absolute is. Uh, all I know is that these are the finals of the division, and then I think Andre Galvao versus Gordon Ryan is after that. If you know the schedule of when the absolute is, please throw it in the chat, and I'd be happy to commentate that as well. Just refreshing my stream here. It says the event is in commercial break. Not quite sure when they're going to get started here. I'm going to get some water for my commentary since I might be on here longer than I thought. Please stick around. Let's see. And I will be right back. Wow. My computer fell off the stand that it was on. I hope you're still with me. I hope I didn't break anything. And everything still seems to be all right. All right. Got my water. Got my chair. And I got my pillow. All right. I wonder a lot of times, like when we are right on the cusp of a great fight or a great situation, um, or a great match that's about to happen, I wonder what's like going through the athletes' heads at a time like this, I certainly remember fighting in tournaments myself, and um, I'd usually be pretty nervous right around now if I was them. So, some notable improvements to jiu-jitsu, I would say, um, that I've seen through this tournament is, hold on, Dakota says, I hope you plan on playing the finals and talking in the background. I would really hate to listen to you and not watch it. Well, I appreciate that, Dakota. But unfortunately, I cannot play the finals in the background. I will be copyrighted. I've tried to do that before, Dakota, and my YouTube video got flagged. I got a warning from YouTube, and I got a threat against my account. So I apologize, Dakota. You just have to look at my ugly, disgusting face the whole time, or you can simply leave. But I will give you the live play by play of what's happening, and I will do my best to commentate the fights as they happen. So, my apologies on that one, Dakota. Otherwise, I saw one person just left. It might have been Dakota. I saw in this latest ADCC, Dakota says, "Will you have less than 10 viewers? It's worth a shot if you want to be a winner." Dakota, you underestimate how few viewers I'm willing to have on my videos. I know that you want to fight it, that you want to watch the fights, but unfortunately, I can't do it. Dakota, I was looking to break down some fights yesterday, and the whole video got single digit views. So we're a small channel. If you could subscribe, if you could like some of my videos and comment on them, that would be great. I'm trying to get to 200 subscribers, and I'm inching my way there. Inching my way there. Dakota says, "Okay, bye. Someone will be streaming it. I promise you that." Majid says, "But put a mirror behind you, man." Dakota says, "Not that way." Well, my apologies, guys. It's just going to be my face this whole time. I understand the desire to want to watch, but you're just going to have to go with some illegal method. And I hope you come crawling back to me. So, do we have some developments here? Nope. Aha. No. The screen changed a little bit in that it's showing the stadium now. Um, and it went black again. So, aha, they are back. Okay, good. So, hopefully, this Gordon Ryan versus Nikki Rod match will start soon. If you are looking to see the fight, unfortunately, you got to go somewhere else. But if you can't find the fight anywhere, come back and I'll give you the play by play of what's going on. There was something famous back in the day, guys, called the radio, and people used to listen to the radio instead of watching baseball games, instead of watching all types of sports events. So in this situation, it's like the radio, except I've given you the gift of watching it on video as well. All right. It says coming up next, the 2022 ADCC World Championship Finals. I'm looking forward to it. They said 7 o'clock, and they are running on Brazilian time. Just lost a viewer for that Brazilian joke. What can you do? You know, it's been interesting too. There has been so many more, so much more of a diversity from different countries in this ADCC. You know, the Brazilians have just dominated for so long in every world championship, in every event, and it's cool to see that some other countries are getting good at jiu-jitsu as well. Swan says, Thanks for the commentary, brother. Nice to have someone speaking English on the play-by-play. Thank you so much, Swan. I appreciate the positive comments and an appreciation for the commentary. I really wish I could show it. If I could show it, I would. But YouTube will take the whole video down. They have some sort of copyright agreement where they don't allow it. So thank you, Swan, for your positive comment, and I really appreciate the comment. So just a bit of a background on me. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for over 15 years, doing martial arts for over 15 years. And I sell instructional videos. I teach jiu-jitsu, and hopefully I'm able to let you in on what's going on in the fight and even in the subtleties of the positions and tactics and strategies as far as what's going on. For example, in the ADCC so far, I feel that we've seen a updated version of the standing position. In so many ADCC past, it was very common that you would go and you would train with a wrestler, or you would go and you train with someone who specialized in the standing position. But I feel like in this World Championship, we see more standing position grappling that is not only centered around the actual individual takedown itself, but also with respect to a lot of the submissions and things that you have to worry about in a jiu-jitsu setting. So developing a curriculum or a specific takedown-oriented style for matches that include submission, I believe, is one of the additions that you see in this ADCC event. Also, I would say that progress has been made in the turtle position, attacking the turtle and defending the turtle. There are certain rules where you can avoid someone getting takedown points by turtling. You can avoid someone getting passing points by turtling. So the turtle becomes a major part of the ADCC rule set. So being able to attack the turtle properly is a very important tool. And I think that there's been much headway in the turtle attacking and the turtle defense in this event. It's really a separate section of jiu-jitsu, and it's a separate skill in itself. And it's something that needs to be practiced. And there's a lot of great techniques from wrestling in the referee's position, and that really needs to be sorted out and thought of when we're talking about the turtle position for jiu-jitsu. And if you think about it, there's three stances, three ways that you could position your body in the turtle position. I'm sorry, in the bottom position of jiu-jitsu. First of all, being you could be seated. You could be playing a seated guard. You could be supine, where you're laying flat on your back. And the third bottom position that not a lot of people talk about is that turtle position. So making sure that you have skills, making sure that you have things to do from the seated, supine, and turtle position are all essential to being a proper bottom player. And I feel that there's been a lot of headway made in that turtle position, in the attack and in the defense. So it looks like they are playing the war drums, and they have Nikki Rod looking like he's about to come out first here and make his way to the mats. Very exciting. Let's see. Yep. I can only play the music for maximum of 10 seconds in the video, or it will get flagged. So Nikki Rod walking out, looking a little bit like a bit of a pro wrestling thing here. He looks like he's got some weight on his shoulders. He looks a little bit stressed about what's going to happen. Is my assessment. Looks a little bit mentally defeated, I guess, going into this. You know, it's interesting. Nikki Ryan is right behind him. I wonder what that dynamic is like. They're bringing Gordon out now, where Gordon comes out with his arms raised like this in classic Gordon Ryan cocky fashion. But Nikki Ryan and Nikki Rod are on the same team where they both run B Team Jiu-Jitsu, excuse me, and they both train and work together every day. But Nikki Ryan is Gordon Ryan's brother. So I wonder where he sits as far as the coaching on this one. You know, I hate to, you know, oh, look, there's Denner. I hate to shit on anybody, but Nikki Ryan had some really bad knee injuries going into this ADCC, and I believe he really underperformed. And I don't know if Nikki Ryan will be able to come back from the serious knee surgeries that he needed to get multiple times. Oh, snap. They got Bruce Buffer doing the announcing. You can't get much better than having Bruce Buffer as the announcer for your event. I always wanted Bruce Buffer to introduce me. So in one of my instructionals, in the submission line instructional, I have Bruce do the introduction video. And Gordon Ryan just staring at Nikki Rod. Nikki Rod looks pretty nervous here. And it looks like it's running a second or two behind because there's a picture down low of them actually grappling. And that's not the same picture that I'm watching. I wonder what that's about. But I will commentate it as soon as it happens on my screen. All right, referee shaking hands and begin. They begin. Nikki Rod's looking for some collar ties. Gordon Ryan gives up his leg, and Nikki Rod throws him to the ground off of the single leg. Gordon Ryan taking the bottom position here. He's showing a really laxed guard and controls Nikki Rod's outside triceps. Looking to play a game of the head and the legs. The head and the legs. If you bring your head down, then you can attack guillotines, snap downs, and run around to the back. And then once you bring your head back up, he is attacking with a double kawichi, a double inside position where you can trip the legs. But Nikki Rod is pretty wise to this situation. It's a tactic commonly used in wrestling as well. Gordon Ryan going half guard here. And Nikki Rod really sort of playing the distance game where he's really on the outside and making it difficult for Gordon. You see a lot of times, you know, this element of distance where Nikki Rod is just close enough to look like he's fighting and just far enough away to be out of range and that he could back away at any time. Gordon Ryan really locking him in half guard here and trying to make this a situation where the body lock does not happen. Gordon Ryan looking for some arm drags. Nikki Rod looking to pull away. Gordon Ryan looking to invert underneath. He does a spiral guard transition, and he's into a cross ashigarami position. And Nikki Rod looking to defend. Gordon Ryan switches it around to an outside heel hook here. Let's see if he could attack this. And Nikki Rod taps. Wow. Wow. Gordon Ryan makes it look easy once again, and he outside heel hooks Nikki Rod almost instantly in this fight. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Makes it look super easy. Unfriggin' believable. Joel says the GOAT. It's hard to deny that he's the GOAT. And it should be interesting to see his fight against Andre Galvao. If he could do the same kind of leg lock and that it doesn't even matter if he's in bottom or top position, then he should have easy work against Galvao. You know, it's interesting. Some of these heel hooks, like his heel hook versus Gabriel Souza, didn't look too crazy deep, you know. But in his last match, his last opponent tapped in like 13 seconds or even less, like 11 seconds from that heel hook. And I wonder how much it was. Oh, Nikki Rod had his leg trapped in the middle of this lock too, which made it very difficult. I didn't realize that from the first angle, where Nikki Rod really couldn't even transition out of the situation. He couldn't use his other leg to defend because his leg was trapped like this to his chest and to his body, while his other foot was locked in the outside heel hook. So beautiful stuff there from Gordon. He wins his division, makes it look really easy, and we're moving on to the next final, I guess. Holy shit. What a crazy, crazy turn of events. Throw me something in the chat, guys. What's your reaction to Gordon beating Nikki Rod in and winning ADCC gold, making it look extremely easy in a matter of a couple minutes in the fight? Unbelievable, really. Here you see Gordon talking to Lex Friedman and Joe Rogan. That's wild. Gordon Ryan giving a kiss to Hey Sonny and hugging his mom. Must be a cool feeling, winning ADCC like that and going over to Joe Rogan and Lex Friedman and giving a big hug to your mom. Are they having an absolute? If so, when, says Tori. You know, Tori, that is a great question. I am really not sure. I'm going to look it up here on my phone. All right. Hard to say. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the Absolute. If any of you know what's going on with the Absolute, please put it in the chat. Wow, that's wild. Gordon made it look so easy to heel hook Nikki Rod in a couple minutes of the first round. You know, a lot of times too on these leg locks, you need to be able to tap if you have nowhere to go. Like if you have nowhere to roll, if you have no way to defend with your other leg, even if like the heel hook isn't tight, like, or isn't tight yet, you can guarantee that it's going to be. And if you have no way of defending from the particular position that you're in, you got to tap, because they're just going to go into serious damage. Here we see the master of leg locks, Craig Jones. If there was ever a person who was better at leg locks than Gordon, in my opinion, it would be Craig Jones. You know, he's been very vocal about how heel hooks are easy to defend, and maybe if you're a master of them like Craig Jones, they are easy to defend. And there is an interesting dynamic in this match where Kanan, his opponent, is really good at using the leglock transitions to take the back. And this is something that's majorly important in this ADCC. You really see this a lot. I had said in the my predictions for this fight that a potential weakness of Nikki Rod might be his legs, his heel hooks. I remember them talking about Nikki Rod when they were all on the same team, saying that Nikki Rod's upper body defense is pretty much immaculate, but his leg lock defense could use a little bit of work. So there you have it. He exploited the flaw of Nikki Rod's leg lock defense. Here we see Kanan coming out, about to have his final against Craig Jones. You know, it's crazy too, where Gordon had in his second day today, really just such an easy day where he had 11 seconds for his first fight, and then this was 2.5 minutes, and it was right into a heel hook. I mean, it would be amazing if he even really was sweating through both of his like semifinal and final ADCC matches, which is actually insane. You know, it's crazy. So I wonder if that has any effect on Andre Galvao. I wonder if he will be able to heel hook Andre Galvao, and if that's his strategy to work from bottom position on Galvao. I know Galvao is definitely going to be very cautious of the leg locks, and I just don't think Galvao is so interested in tapping to whatever Gordon puts on him. You know, I personally went to Atos and trained with Andre Galvao and his ADCC camp before the 2015 ADCC, before he had his match with Cyborg. And man, Andre Galvao prepared extensively. I mean, extensively isn't even the right word, to such an extreme that I've never seen anyone prepare like this before. And he just changed into a different person. Here we see Kanan and Craig Jones. I'll tell you more about that later. Here we see Kanan and Craig Jones coming out. Kanan being really heavy on the head, really heavy collar ties in this match with Craig Jones. And Kanan wearing a knee brace slash like knee taped up thing on his left knee. I wonder if that will be a place for Craig Jones to think about attacking. I know Wagner Rocha attacked this guy who had a hurt ankle and got the third place medal from toe holding his hurt ankle. But it's not good to go against Craig Jones when your knee's already hurt. Anyway, Kanan is really being heavy, heavy, heavy on these collar ties. And it looks uncomfortable if you're Craig Jones. So far, we are 1 minute into the match. Kanan on a monster takedown attempt here, shoots in, looks for the single leg, and then transitions to the body lock. Let's see if he can make something happen with it here. Craig Jones using his leg as a frame on Kanan's hip here. I wonder if he will put it down and if Kanan will go for the takedown in that time. Kanan takes him down here. Maybe a bit of a transition of Craig looking to pull guard too. There are no points in this segment of the match quite yet, but we see Kanan on the top of Craig Jones's half guard here, and you got to be careful to not hug the head of Craig Jones while you're in this half guard. Of course, you want to get a crossface underhook, but Craig Jones is so good with his knee shield that he used the attempt for the crossface underhook to submit someone in their first round. If you're the guard player or the guard passer, really, if you have something on their hip, in this case it's Craig Jones's knee shield, then there's a danger of you coming forward and going for your crossface and underhook because there might be submissions waiting for you when that happens. Jack Black says, Craig Jones about to go from bridesmaid to bride. Finally, fingers crossed. Jack Black, that is my favorite comment of the day, I think, and that is hilarious. Craig Jones definitely has been just easily submitting people here, and it's almost nice to see him go through some pain and suffering. Another thing that is worth mentioning, I feel, Craig Jones had this whole kind of, I don't know what to call it, I guess inferiority complex around getting second place. He even made it as a whole marketing strategy. And while it was a joke, I know plenty of people who talk about how they just feel like they don't deserve first place, or they just can't get to first place. If you want to see a great example of this, Chael Sonnen talked about this on the Joe Rogan podcast, where he came super close to defeating Anderson Silva and John Jones, where John Jones broke his foot in the last couple seconds of the first round after he did a ground and pound finish on Chael Sonnen. And if Chael just made it to the second round, he could have really turned that around, or the injury would have stopped things. And then he beat up Anderson Silva for 4 rounds and like 4 minutes of the fifth round. And Anderson Silva came back with a triangle at the last second, and he just like found a way to lose. And he talked about it as a bit of a psychological crux on the Joe Rogan Experience. And being around the competition scene for a lot of my life, I've seen guys who have this same psychological crux, and it really is something to be thought about and considered. Craig Jones here is looking to use a butterfly half guard, and he's got control of Kanan's secondary leg here, looking to go and try to attack something here. The referee was warning Kanan about stalling here. Kanan transitions into a headquarters type position. Really difficult to mount any offense if you are the guard player in this situation. And especially when you get that right knee to the floor. As you see, Kanan's knee with the tape around it, if you're watching live, is trying to get to the floor. And when you have that inside knee position, it's really hard for your opponent to do anything. I want to do a video about how important inside knee position is, as you see Kanan looking to get it here with his right knee, as it's really an important element of the game and in defending leg locks. Look how Kanan gets that inside knee position once again, where he puts his knee right by the hip of Craig Jones. Something that I teach my students to do as well in the headquarters position. And if you think about it, mount is just double inside knee position. Craig pummels his legs back in, Kanan sends his hips backwards, and has great respect for the leg lock game of Craig Jones. And they award a negative point for Kanan for stalling here, and that will be to the favor of Craig. Kanan really has to make something happen here, and Craig really has a difficult guard to pass. So if there are no more points scored for the rest of the match, this will be a win for Craig Jones. Let's see if Craig Jones will win or if he will find a way to lose here. Craig looking for a way out of this headquarters position and a way out of this inside knee positioning. Kanan does a good job getting an underhook on Craig Jones there for a second. If Craig wins the battle of inside positioning at the legs, a great thing that you could do is win the battle for underhooks or inside positioning at the arms, which is something that you see happening here in this match. Craig looking to work his dynamic half guard, Z guard here, and Kanan on top looking for a way in to try to pass. Craig doing a good job not letting Kanan get to a crossface here. And Kanan pummels his leg and then goes into a headquarters position once again. So in jiu-jitsu, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get a sense of advantage and win from that sense of advantage. And that's what you're doing when you pass the guard. You get to a position of dominance where you are in control and your opponent is not. But within each stage of jiu-jitsu, in this stage, we're in the guard play and guard passing phase, there are ways to get subtle senses of advantage where you can be closer to passing off of these subtle senses of advantage. And here, Kanan goes from his subtle sense of advantage from the headquarters position to getting underhooks on Craig Jones to look to pass. He goes over to Craig's other side and is able to get chest to chest here for some double underhook passing. Oh, beautiful. Kanan gets some double underhooks underneath Craig's body, which is major, major trouble for Craig Jones here. This is not a position Craig wants to be in and is, again, a position of advantage for Kanan. He's going to put his leg in as a hook, and he's going to see if he can pummel his leg out and pass to the mount, which he does. Kanan gets the mount and crosses his feet. Craig Jones looking for a no-gi Ezekiel from bottom mount here. Wild. Which, I don't think we are in the points period yet. I think we just started at the 10-minute mark. So Kanan on top in the mounted position. This is very interesting where Kanan's looking to almost put himself back and backtrack, put a foot back into the half guard and pass again. This double underhooks is a really powerful position. Kanan scores 2 points here, 4 points for this mounted position now. This is a really rough situation for Craig Jones. Craig is going for this no-gi Ezekiel from the mount because Kanan has this double underhook control underneath Craig Jones's head, and all Craig really wants to do with this no-gi Ezekiel is put a threat on Kanan so that he has to let go of that double underhook position. And it's also the only submission that he really has available from this spot. But I just can't see Kanan tapping to a no-gi Ezekiel in this situation. Kanan stays in the mount here. I wonder if Kanan will be able to do anything with the mount and transition to a submission. A nice submission that you could go for in this position is a head and arm choke, where you slowly work the arms up and you go for a head and arm choke, where it is relatively low risk and you could stay in a dominant position this whole time. Kanan now has 3 penalties for stalling calls in this fight. But part of the problem is Craig is just such a dangerous grappler that I'm sure it would be nice to just ride out this position and Kanan offering him his leg and looking to pass again, which he does. Let's see if he gets the points for it. Yep, he gets 7 points. Now that's going to be a really, really difficult differential to make up. So he did a famous maneuver where he lets you put your foot back in place. Craig looking really exhausted from the bottom of the mount here. And then he'll pass again from just 1 foot being back in the guard. And that's a great tactic to be able to rack up a lot of points. Kanan has 4 calls for stalling here. I wonder, Craig Jones looking to do a kipping escape, does the kipping escape and gets himself back into a guard situation here. I wonder, how many stalling calls you're allowed in this format before you get disqualified. That's a question I do not know the answer to. But a beautiful pass from Kanan nonetheless. And I wonder how the rest of this match will look because he has so many stalling calls. I wonder if it's possible to get a disqualification in this situation. Craig Jones looking really, really tired here, really exhausted. 6 minutes and 11 seconds left. Craig Jones pummeling his hook back in. All right, Craig Jones gets his guard back. Really amazing to be able to pass the guard of Craig Jones. That is no easy feat whatsoever. We got 5 minutes, 44 seconds left so far. Kanan is up 7 points, but has 4 penalties against him. And Craig Jones is at 0-0 on points and penalties. So I wonder how that will play a factor in on this match. Craig Jones looking for his butterfly half guard here. I doubt Kanan is going to take the risk of passing again, but now he has 5 penalties. Man, what's the maximum amount of penalties you could get in a match here? That's wild. Four minutes, 43 seconds left in this match. Kanan Duarte ahead 7 points to 0, but with 5 penalties. But, in a lot of ways, how else do you fight Craig? Craig has some of the slickest submissions and sickest submissions in the game. And you sort of have to fight him in this way where you deny him, negate his game, and stay safe with your positioning. And then if you could pass Craig Jones's guard, that's pretty wild. And Kanan passed. Kanan back into a sense of advantage for himself. If Craig Jones is in his butterfly half guard, Craig Jones is the one who has the subtle sense of advantage. And if Kanan is in a head quarters position, Kanan is the one with the subtle sense of advantage. Craig Jones in butterfly guard now, but he is flat on his back, and Kanan has a double underhook type situation. So it's an interesting neutral battle of Craig Jones having won the battle of inside position on the lower body, but Kanan having won the battle of inside position at the upper body, where both kind of up. Craig Jones looking for a shoulder crunch situation. Kanan pulls out of it, and back into the half guard they go. Kanan with 6 penalties now. Are you just able to get unlimited penalties? I don't know if I've ever seen so many penalties in a match before. 7 penalties now. Unbelievable. Here he is in Craig Jones half guard. Now he has much better positioning where he is he's got a crossface and underhook, and he's chest to chest. That's definitely where Kanan wants to be in the half guard, and not where Craig wants to be. 8 penalties now for Kanan. This is absurd. This is absolutely absurd. I didn't even know that you could get 8 penalties in a match. I've never seen this many penalties. I wonder if Kanan looks like he's passing again, looking to go to north south here. Great control of the hips. James says, "LOL, what's the point of penalties if they are basically meaningless?" I agree, James. Kanan Duarte getting 11 points here now to 0 for this pass to north-south. Really amazing to be able to pass the guard of Craig Jones. That is no easy task. It looks like they're doing something with the points. They went back and they give him 10 points. But I agree. What is the rule on all of those penalties? Like, how many penalties can you get? It's interesting. The scorecard says 10-0 here on the actual match with Kanan and Craig Jones. But in the score below, it says that Kanan has 12-0, when in the actual match it says it's 10-0. And Craig Jones is clearly exhausted, and it looks like Kanan will score another takedown here from more just exhaustion than anything. And they shake hands with 3 seconds left. And Kanan going, "I'm sorry," to Craig. But really, I don't know what there is to be sorry about. Tori Brown says, "Looks like B Team is living up to their name, coming home with 2 silver medals. They raise Kanan's hand, and Kanan wins the under 99 kilogram division." That's wild. Yeah, it looks like they are living up to their name, coming home with 2 silver medals. Unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff. All right, now we have Giancarlo versus who is he fighting? Versus Lucas Hulk Barbosa in the minus 88 kilogram category. I'm going to have to do some research there on what the rules are for the penalties, because the person that commented, I think it was James, what's the point of penalties if they are basically meaningless?
Division, give me your thoughts on your performance tonight.
Kenny Florian asking him in the interview,
I'm happy with my performance.
what are your thoughts on your performance? He says, I'm happy with my performance. I can't play too much of the audio or they will flag me and they will take this video down for my channel. So if you know what's going on in the interview, throw it in the comment section. And, I think he put on an impressive display, an impressive performance in a points tournament. What you got to do is you got to score points. You got to go ahead and, work the rules of the tournament. I mean, I always like to see submission. I know a lot of people hate on the submission only rule set. I could show you 1,000 matches that are super boring in the points rule set as well. And in the submission only no time limit rule set, sometimes it's a long match, but at least there is a submission. So if you want to see a submission, then we should push more towards submission only fights. But in a points setting, in a points tournament, you got to score points too. I mean, unless you're Gordon Ryan and you could just heel hook everybody in seconds. Kanan is doing an interview here. I don't remember them doing an interview for the Gordon and Nikki Rod match. But it is what it is. Wow. Well, there you go. Kanan is your minus 99 ADCC champion. A couple of my friends who are really experts in the steroids field were saying that Kanan might have messed up one of his cycles, and that might affect his performance in this tournament. But he looked pretty damn good to me. Kanan puts up a 2 because he is 2-time ADCC champion now. Got some Tic Tacs, the sponsor of today's video. No, just kidding. All right. We got Carlo versus the Hulk. That should be a good match. The Hulk is a guy who, similar to a Kanan, really doesn't mind, not engaging and kind of stalling and waiting for his kind of opportunity, which, I hate to watch. So therefore, I'm not a huge fan of a lot of guys that have that strategy. I really like the submission-oriented, submission-heavy style a lot. And you got Danaher coaching Giancarlo here. Always good to have Danaher in your corner. And you gotta be proud of Giancarlo. I mean, I remember watching Danaher videos years ago where Giancarlo was a brown belt, Sorry. And he was doing the takedown instructionals with Danaher. He would be the uki, or demonstration partner is what uki means. And James London says, what did Gordon catch Nikki with? And Tori Brown replied, heel hook. Thank you guys for answering your questions in the comments. Really appreciate that. Yes, James, it was an outside heel hook. My bad, I didn't see your comment. I got two screens up, the ADCC here and YouTube live stream here. So I got to move some stuff over to be able to see the comments. So Gordon was able to do this transition from half guard, where he transitioned underneath him. He was able to get a cross ashigarami position, which is most commonly an inside heel hooking position, but then he switched the leg over to the other side and used it as an outside heel hook. And he was able to defeat Nikki Rod with it. And Nikki Rod did tap early, but Nikki Rod's middle leg, that sounds a little bit strange. Nikki Rod's secondary leg, the leg that was not in the heel hook, was trapped somewhere in the middle of the leg entanglement. And it really kind of prevented him from being able to roll out and defend. So here we have Giancarlo taking the stage, and we have Lucas Hulk Barbosa taking the stage as well. This is actually a rematch. These guys have fought before. I believe Lucas Hulk Barbosa was the winner when they fought previously. But it was always a really intense physical match. And I'm rooting for Giancarlo here. He's been working hard coming up through the ranks for years, and it would be great to see him get the victory here. So here we go. Heavy on the collar ties, heavy on the head. A strategy you see a lot from the Atos guys is they really like to be heavy on the collar ties. They really like to get the double inside collar tie, which you just saw Hulk go for right there, right as I was saying it. It's almost like the Muay Thai plum clinch, where you really get both hands on the guy's head and pull them down, which is a very annoying thing to have done to you. Giancarlo looking for the foot sweep here, but man, Hulk's legs are just glued to the floor. I wonder what the takedown situation here will be. I don't know who I give the slight edge to in the takedown department. I mean, in Lucas Hulk Barbosa's career, he had been notorious for having really strong takedown ability and to really be a tough guy to take down. I can't even remember a time where he was really taken down. But Giancarlo has been training with Danaher. He's been on every one of his takedown instructionals, and that helps, believe it or not. If you're studying constant instructionals from Danaher on and being in the instructionals on takedowns. I've been watching Danaher's standing to ground instructional, and it's a really incredible instructional on takedowns for ADCC rules. And Giancarlo was in it, and I'm sure he drilled and practiced it in the camp. And now you see from that instructional, Giancarlo going for the same snap downs that Danaher has in his instructional. Lucas Hulk Barbosa goes in on a takedown, shoots, and it's countered by a front headlock situation from Giancarlo. Giancarlo with a nice foot sweep attempt here. And Lucas Hulk Barbosa seems to kind of turn it into a takedown here. And we end up with Giancarlo on the bottom, looking for an arm drag or a 2-on-1 from the butterfly guard here. Lucas Hook Barboza has the same kind of double underhook and body lock passing style that you just saw his teammate Kanan have. Lucas Holt Barboza looking for a long step. What an interesting choice. The long step is a position that's oftentimes done in the gi, but in no gi, it really is not the same position because you don't have the collar to hold on to. And Lucas Holt Barboza went for one, but he had no control of the head, so he just slipped off and moved around. You see Giancarlo on his back here, looking for some butterfly guard action. If Giancarlo is able to win this and submit Luke like he submitted Mateus, what a unbelievable tournament this would be for him. Here we have Giancarlo in the butterfly half guard, looking to get a 2-on-1. Great off balancing and elevation here from Giancarlo. He really has the sticky grips that is so famous on the Danaher Death Squad. Lucas Hulk Barboza transitioning into a headquarters position here. As I was trying to explain in the previous match, it's all about being able to gain a subtle sense of advantage in the positions that you're in. Oh, looks like Giancarlo was on a bit of a leg lock here. Lucas Hulk looking to use this transition to take the back. Beautiful stuff. Gets to a body lock here. Giancarlo pummeling his feet back into the inside position here. But Lucas Hulk going around, switching sides. Let's see if he can make something happen with this pass. Giancarlo looking to try to put his leg back into the half guard here, but the upper body positioning is not good for Giancarlo here. You can see Giancarlo is currently unhappy with how this match is going. And you see Giancarlo in this almost head and arm choke now. This is not looking good for Giancarlo. Giancarlo moves and escapes. Beautiful escape where you roll back over your shoulder to defend that head and arm choke. Beautiful stuff there for Giancarlo and Lucas Hulk Barboza. They're both going in on some heavy collar ties right now. And there's an interesting thing where, there's an interesting pacing of the match. Like a lot of times when you're in a match, especially one that's 20 minutes long, like this one, with possible multiple overtime rounds, you got to pace yourself and you got to go in some sense with the pace of your opponent. So after a large burst of energy like you just saw, you slow down for a little bit after, and that's what you're seeing here in this part of the match. I got something in my teeth. Here we see more of those snaps. Snap, snap, snap. Trying to snap the other guy down. The snap serves as a great function in the art of grappling, where the more you snap the guy's head down, there's takedowns off of the snap, but the more he's going to raise his head and bring his head back up, which allows you then to shoot in on the hips. There's always this idea of the manipulation of the spine, using the spine as a lever. And if you constantly keep snapping the head down, ooh, Giancarlo shoots in on a double leg here. Beautiful double leg for Giancarlo, and he gets it. Beautiful stuff here from Giancarlo. Wow, to hit Lucas Hulk Barboza in that clean double leg is not easy. And just like I was saying, from those snaps, the more you snap someone down, the more they don't like it and they posture up, which presents the hips to the person on the other end, and you are able to use the spine as a lever in that way. I wonder if Giancarlo will be able to pass Barboza's guard. You normally see Lucas Barboza on top. Giancarlo forces the headquarters position and is looking to get inside knee position with that right leg. Beautiful stuff here from Giancarlo. Up, but he allows Hulk back up. Damn. 11 minutes, 15 seconds left. Giancarlo's back on those snaps, and it seems to be wearing on Lucas Hulk Barboza. If I had to say, if I had to say if one person was fresher in this match, I would say Giancarlo is way more fresh, and Barboza's a little bit more tired. It looks like those snaps are taking effect on Barboza. And you see Giancarlo continuing to snap. A great strategy. Giancarlo goes to snap again, and Barboza pushes him back, seemingly frustrated now. 9 minutes, 56 seconds in this fight. I believe now points are a factor, and I wonder how that will play into this match. Giancarlo goes for a takedown Lucas Hook goes for a takedown on Giancarlo. Giancarlo sprawls and is in this front headlock position. Noam says 77 kilogram final already down. No, we are in the 88 kilogram final right now, Noah. A body lock here from Lucas Hulk. Giancarlo looks to Uchimata himself out of it. Crazy takedown scramble here. And Giancarlo, oh my goodness, ends up on top. Then they scramble out of bounds. Wild stuff here. A great technique exchange. Lucas Hulk Barboza taking his time getting back to the mat. Man, if I didn't know any better, I would say I'm rooting for Giancarlo here. It's just cool to see his transition from lower belt to come up through the ranks, 8 minutes, 44 seconds in this match, though, 0-0. I wouldn't be surprised if this one goes to overtime. Both of these guys are really hard to score on. I think they've both shown, though, that they can both take the other one down. So that might be a deciding factor in this match. Up, Giancarlo looks to get on top here. He starts attacking the turtle now. Beautiful attack of the turtle here. Gets to the back, gets to the body triangle. This might be it. This might be the entire match for Giancarlo. Giancarlo's sinking in a rear naked choke here. This is bad news for Lucas Hulk Barboza. Beautiful stuff there. That back take from the turtle was absolutely gorgeous. Giancarlo getting this cross wrist position. One thing that is a little bit precarious with Giancarlo is once he gets the cross wrist position, he sort of telegraphs that he is going to look to trap the arm by opening his body triangle and going foot on foot. I would like to see him take that out of his game. But Giancarlo switching the body triangle on the other side, racking up a 6-0 lead here on Lucas Hulk Barbosa. Giancarlo holding around both elbows of Barbosa here. And I wonder if he will be able to get the rear naked choke in this instance. Giancarlo's got to be careful, though, because, he's really got to keep control of Lucas Holt Barbosa, which is a very difficult thing to do. And he's telegraphing a little bit when he's going to look to trap the arm by opening up his body triangle at certain moments. There he goes. He looks to trap the arm. Up, but the arm slips off. He goes back to the body triangle. And Giancarlo really fishing for that rear naked choke. Lifts the chin up, and this is deep here. That's under Lucas Barbosa's head, and he taps. Giancarlo wins 9-0 and with a rear naked choke victory to win the ADCC 88 kilogram division. Beautiful stuff here from Giancarlo. Wow. What a performance from Giancarlo, submitting Mateus Diniz, submitting Lucas Hulk Barbosa on his route to ADCC gold here. Really unbelievable performance from Giancarlo. And he had a couple matches with Hulk before, and I believe Hulk won. And it's cool to see Giancarlo's progression, how he learned from those matches, how he's been working for so many years. He shakes Danaher's hand and gives him a hug. And he gives Gordon a hug too. Wow. Unbelievable. Good for Giancarlo. And he's wearing a Sheepdog Response rash guard. That's Tim Kennedy's company, and he's giving an interview now.
Our team that I have, it's like you said, as the tournament went on, I just got better. So I was laser focused on every match.
Wow. One of the best performances I've ever seen to win the ADCC. Really unbelievable performance from Giancarlo there. Realizing his dream. I think this is the first time he won the World Championships. A bit of a state of shock and disbelief it looks like he's in right now. And a really, really impressive performance there. They're showing his Uchimata attempt after the body lock takedown, and then that beautiful turtle transition. Like I was saying, the transition of the turtle. They're showing the final finish too, where Giancarlo gets under the chin, goes with a palm-to-palm variation to finish, and really lifted up the chin of Lucas Holt Barbosa to get the arm underneath. Really great stuff there from Giancarlo. Here he is hugging Gordon. What a cool moment. He hugs Hey Sonny as well. Shakes the hand of many of the people that have helped him over his career. Awesome moment for Giancarlo. Michael Zenga is there. Bernardo Faria is there. A great victory for Bjjfanatics too. I keep trying to get a meeting with Michael Zenga, but I'm not there at the ADCC to talk to him, winning the 88 kilogram division. Big hugs all around for Giancarlo. Wow, what a cool moment for him. Good for Giancarlo. He hugs Mo Jassim. I wonder too, in these hugs, Giancarlo is probably sweaty as all hell, and he's hugged so many people. Like, I wonder if there are some people that are just not looking forward to just have a sweaty, wet hug, like the event organizer Mo Jassim. Like, he has so many matches, he has so much to do, and now he's walking around with a wet shirt. All right, the 77 kilogram division. Let's see what's going on with this one. If you are still listening, throw something in the comment section. Oh, Ken Shaloya says, good fight. Noam says, done and thanks. The 77 kilogram division is going to happen right now, Noam. If you'd like, please stay tuned, and I will give you live updates of what happens while it happens. And nothing has gone down yet, but it is about to go down soon. Wow, a cool victory there for Giancarlo. One of the hardest routes to ADCC Gold, and still pulls it off. If you got to beat Mateus Diniz and Lucas Holt Barboza by submission, that's just no easy task by any stretch of the imagination. All right, they're doing the warrior drums once again. And here comes Mika Galvao, gives 2 thumbs up. Like that. As he's about to enter the ring, or not the ring, the mat. You got Bruce Buffer ready to do his announcing. By the way, if you are hanging out in the watching this video, what did you guys think of the announcer for all the athletes of the ADCC? I mean, that guy was out of his mind. Brazil. He would do all these like crazy ways of announcing people's names where it was almost incoherent. And I get that he was trying to give good, exciting energy to all the athletes, but it just kept going on and on. There's so many competitors, and he had to keep that up the whole time. It was a bit of a horror show. Ken Shaloya says Bruce Buffer did your video on Bjjfanatics as well. Yes, he did. My submission land instructional is on Bjjfanatics, and Bruce Buffer did the intro for that as well. It is a great honor to be introduced by Bruce Buffer. And here we are with Cade Ruotolo and Mika Galvao in the finals of the ADCC. You know, it was clear when they fought at the Worlds that these are two guys that are going to see each other again. And the Ruotolo Mika Galvao rivalry is one I think that we will see for the next decade, probably. All right, Cade instantly on the collar ties, instantly on the head, the famous double collar ties that is so common from the Atos camp. You see that right away from Cade. A bit of a Muay Thai plum clinch kind of action there. Both these athletes fighting in the standing position here. Cade faking for an ankle pick. Cade's got a gigantic afro. I wonder if that will play any factor in this fight. When you have a lot of hair like that, it makes it harder to pull out of certain guillotines and certain moves. And I don't know how good of an idea it is to have a really big, gigantic afro. Fila says, can Andre shock the world? I don't know. I'm going to have to go with Gordon Ryan on the victory here against Andre Galvao, but I was at Atos for Andre Galvao's 2015 ADCC camp and preparation. Mika Galvao looking for a single leg, uses it to transition to a tight waist underhook here, and Cade looking to counter with a whizzer, and Mika Galvao turning it into a half guard transition and a roll through sweep for this underhook to overhook transition. Beautiful stuff here from Mika Galvao and Cade Ruotolo. And we end up in the half guard of Mika Galvao here. Mika on bottom half guard. He pummels in an underhook. And they are chest to chest. Ken Shaloya says, Eric Paulson lost a major fight for his long hair. He paid the price. That is true. That is true. Got to give that to you, Ken Shaloya. All right, Mika Galvao looking for a false reap situation into a cross Ashigarami transition for a leg lock, but Cade smells it out, and he clears his knee line as Cade goes for a Berimbolo attempt off of the leg lock transition. But Mika Galvao knows that one very well. He's done it many times himself, and he messes up the leg orientation of Ruotolo here to defend against that Berimbolo. Again, like I was saying, this Berimbolo off of the leg locks are becoming a major, major factor in this ADCC. One of the most important transitions to know, and that went on in this tournament here. Mika Galvao goes into single leg X guard here and looks to sweep, and Cade untangles the sweep as Mika comes up. Cade puts a leg in the middle, looks for a diving knee cut to Dars type situation, And Cade doing a bit of his leg pin passing position where he steps on one of the legs of Mika Galvao. Mika looks to cross his feet here in the middle of a knee cut position. This is a bit of an old school transition that Hodger Gracie used to be a big fan of. Mika Galvao gets inside knee position here with his right leg, looking to go around to K-guard, but Cade Rotolo covers Mika Galvao with his body, preventing Mika Galvao from being able to throw his left leg over and transition into a leg lock. Mika Galvao still looking for it here, looking to find the space to get his left leg through, and he does. And he's got him in the 50-50 now. Cade looking to spin out, and Mika looking to take his back off of this transition. Again, the leg locks to back attack orientation is so important in this ADCC. They both scramble, and they end up in the closed guard of Mika Galvao once again. Great stuff here from both guys. In my one back attack infinite applications video, I show a twister hook study where I show all of the methods to transition from leg locks to back attacks. So if you guys want to learn how to do that, please pick up my twister hook instructional. Anyway, we are in the close guard here of Mika Galvao. And looking to transition for this K-guard transition once again to get underneath the base of Cade Rotolo. An interesting kind of position here where Mika Galvao has his feet in the middle between like a X guard and in the middle between a 50-50 guard, where he could sort of go either way with this positioning that he's got. Cade pushes the leg through, forcing him to play one or the other so that he could counter properly. There he goes. He looks to, again, put the leg in a situation where he can get a Berimbolo type victory. But a lot of fast scrambles and transitions happening here. Mika Galvao wise to the tactic of Cade. They're trying to transform it into a Berimbolo or twister hook type situation, and ends up in a position where he is going for a leg weave with Cade Rotolo on top and Mika Galvao on the bottom. Now Mika Galvao has a nice calf slicer attempt here through this bear trap, and Cade going for a heel hook as Mika Galvao goes for this calf slicer. So they both got leg locks here, and they are both in a leg lock shootout. Kind of a dangerous position here. Both these guys still in this dangerous leg lock shootout. Looks like Mika Galvao escapes his leg from danger. Now they scramble up and back to this underhook tight waist type situation. And they both scramble back now to Mika Galvao playing open guard against Cade Rotolo's leg pin passing system, which is also available on Bjjfanatics. A very good, interesting instructional that I saw myself. All right, Cade looking to pummel his legs into a headquarters position here. And as I said, in a lot of these situations, each guy is trying to get his own subtle sense of advantage, and they are both jockeying. They are both pummeling for that positioning. Mika Galvao gets to this same interesting leg entanglement where he almost hasn't decided whether he wants to go into a leg reap. And Cade using this as an opportunity to attack an Estima lock here. Amazing that it's still 0-0. Oh, well, there is no points yet. My bad. But there's just been so much jiu-jitsu that has transpired. Mika Galvao on a tight heel hook here. Cade looks to defend, and Cade gets out. Cade looks to counter with more steam locks of his own. And Mika Galvao looking for a kind of an uncommon belly down ankle lock here from the 50-50 guard. And I just don't see Cade tapping to any of these leg locks here. He went for a bit of a funky transition where you do the 50-50 leg lock on the opposite arm on the opposite side. And that's a really good one. And many people do not know that exact leg lock or how to defend it. It's very unclear how to defend. So Cade just eats it, and they went out of bounds, and they are circling back to fight in the center again. And they are met with a knee cut versus reverse De La Riva guard, a classic position here. So many positions have been exchanged here for both of these competitors. Mika Galvao, making sure he's keeping his legs on the outside here. Cade Rotolo looking like he's trying to pass with a knee cut. Looking for a wrist lock on Mika Galvao's bad wrist. Looking for anything here that he can to pass the guard or bother Mika Galvao. Mika Galvao's guard is just so hard to pass here. Really just immaculate guard retention and ability to fight off of his back here. And now Cade using an interesting strategy where he's going and trying to pass with a knee slice where he pins the wrist of Mika Galvao. And that wrist becomes the focal point of like where the weight is. And then you could use the knee cut transition to transition from hip to hip and attack in both directions while you pin a guy's wrist to the mat. But Mika Galvao escapes, recognizes the danger, transitions, moves into a bear trap situation with a calf slicer. And really is entangling the legs here of Rotolo. Oh my God. And Rotolo goes for a leg lock and Mika Galvao taps. Unbelievable. Cade Rotolo is your 77 kilogram champion, submitting Mika Galvao in the finals. Holy crap. Nobody saw that coming. Wow. Mika Galvao clearly upset with himself, upset with his performance. And my goodness, I got to see that leg lock transition again. Wow. What a performance from Cade Rotolo. Just as Mika Galvao was just looking like he was impossible to get anything off of, Cade Rotolo comes through and does an excellent leg lock. I'm not even sure what kind of leg lock it was. I think it was a belly down ankle lock, but I'm not even sure. Right now, Rotolo's doing a interview with Kenny Florian. And Kate Rotolo's obviously elated, very happy. And what an accomplishment to win the 77 kilogram division like that, beating Mika Galvao in the finals. I got to see exactly how he finished that leg lock in the end there. Right now they're doing an interview. But what is your reaction? Ken Chalet says, wowza. Wowza. Ken Chalet, check your Facebook Messenger. I wonder what Kenny Florian is saying to Cade Rotolo here. If you are watching, let me know in the comments what is going on in this interview. Unfortunately, I can't play any of the audio because I will get copyrighted if I do. I already played a couple seconds of it, and it might already be copyrighted. So back to Phila's question, can Andre shock the world? Anything's possible, as you just saw with Rotolo submitting Mika Galvao. But I think a major conversation that's going to be had in this match is, oh, here they are showing the replay. Great stuff here in this match. Look at this. Okay. We got, oh, there it is. Wow. Let me play that again. So Mika Galvao comes in on a calf slicer here. Aha. But the outside leg of the calf slicer is always the one that's in a bit of danger. And in this transition, it was caught in the middle between Cade's legs. And Cade was able to go for a heel hook here when Mika Galvao was not able to accommodate for this and escape his knee line. Wow. Crazy heel hook victory there for Cade Rotolo. You know, it's been nice. All of these ADCC matches have not had to go into double and triple overtime. They've all been decided pretty decisively. Gordon Ryan with the almost immediate heel hook. Kanan Duarte, who passed the guard of Craig Jones multiple times, who went on a absolute penalty racking up masterclass. Never seen so many penalties racked up in one fight before. Carlo with the palm-to-palm rear naked choke victory over Lucas Hulk Barboza. And then Cade with a heel hook on Mika Galvao. Ken Chalet says, how did Gordon look? Gordon looked unstoppable as usual. He looked like his greatness is unmatched. And he heel hooked the guy Nikki Rod within 2 minutes of the fight. And then in Gordon's previous match, it only lasted 11 seconds where he heel hooked the guy before that. So far, Gordon has been extremely efficient and has made it look easy every single match. And made it look embarrassing for anybody else in his division. So I hope that gives you a good account of how Gordon looked. All right, here they are on the war drums. Once again, we have the finals for the minus 66 kilogram division, the lightweight guys. We got Diogo Reyes versus I'll remember the guy's name in a second. Gabriel Souza. And this guy's known as Baby Shark. He's wearing an acai sweatshirt. I didn't even know those existed. This guy, Baby Shark or Diogo Reyes, has proven that he is definitely one of the best in the lighter weight classes. He put on a really impressive performance in one of these professional grappling events where he defeated the current 125-pound world champion and really dominated him the whole match. But they're doing the whole light show, the whole war drums, and everything. And his opponent will be walking out shortly. Let me see the schedule here for the super fight when Gordon is going to be facing when Gordon and Galvao are going to be fighting. Here we go. Okay. So we have an estimated 5:20 p.m., I guess Las Vegas time, is the Gabriel Souza versus Diogo Reyes match. And at 8:30 p.m. will be the Gordon Ryan versus Andre Galvao match, but that's Las Vegas time. So you got to accommodate there for Eastern Standard Time. So it's looking like we got to go through the female divisions too with Fifione. And then we have the open division from 6:20 p.m. to 8 o'clock. So that should be interesting. I wonder who's fighting in the open division. Those were all Las Vegas times, by the way. All right. I wonder if Gordon will fight in the open division as well. That'd be wild if he wins his weight class, wins the open division, and then beats Galvao. But the thing is, the winner of the open weight division is supposed to be the guy that faces the super fight champion. So for the last 6 ADCCs, Andre Galvao has been the super fight champion. So he's just fought the guy who won the previous ADCC's open weight title. So that's how the super fight is set up. So if Gordon wins the absolute division, he will have nobody to fight in the super fight next year if he wins. Gordon is almost guaranteed a spot in the super fight next year because if he beats Galvao, well, he's the guy in the super fight. And if Galvao retires, then the only guy left is Gordon that competed in the super fight. So he just automatically gets put in that slot. So we have Gabriel Souza versus Diogo Reyes now. My prediction is that it's going to be a late night with Gordon fighting Andre Galvao. I think the absolute division will take longer than they expect. But here we are with Gabriel Souza versus Diogo Reyes. You know, I had Gary Tonin winning this 66 kilogram division, And man, he just put on the worst performance I've ever seen Gary put on. Really kind of upsetting because he had the potential to win this entire tournament. And how exciting it would have been to see him in this final. Really just messed around and played around in his first match and paid the price for it. Really kind of sad and upsetting performance for Gary when he really had a good chance of being able to win this ADCC. All right, so right now we're going through a lot of collar ties, a lot of snap downs in this first standing exchange here. We're almost 2 minutes in, and both fighters haven't really done much but just exchanged. Oh, a nice arm drag here for an attempted maybe single leg transition, kind of arm drags his opponent out of bounds. Gabriel Souza arm drags Baby Shark out of bounds. But nothing significant happening yet. Another attempted like arm drag, little foot sweep kind of thing there, but nothing comes of it. Oh, and a nice takedown here from Baby Shark. Baby Shark struggling to maintain top position, and he seems to get it, and the referee will stop them and will likely reset this exact position, checking the ins and outs of who exactly had what so that they could reset this position in the center of the mat. A nice little leg lock transition here from Gabriel Souza. One thing about Diogo Reyes, the guy known as Baby Shark, I mean, they're in a bit of a leg lock scramble now, but he is really good on top from his disciplined ability to keep his leg position and leg orientation in the right spot. I've seen him before work headquarters positions. Oh, a heel hook attempt here on Baby Shark. Baby Shark spins out, but he concedes bottom position. I really think that's where Baby Shark shines in his heel hooks and his ability to win from guard passing scenarios. So good on Gabriel Souza for putting Baby Shark on his back. Baby Shark goes into close guard, looks to transition around into a K guard type entry. Diogo looking for the heel hook here. Gabriel Souza looking to come back up to his feet to defend the heel hook. Beautiful leg lock defense here from Gabriel Souza. One thing that I would say is much improved is the leg lock defense in the modern era here of grappling. All right. Well, they go out of bounds here. They reset in the center of the mat. They shake hands and they restart in the standing position. Gabriel Souza gets an underhook to a whizzer. Baby Shark looks to throw him off of the whizzer. Both guys still fighting in the standing position here. Nice little arm drag Marcelo Garcia type takedown here where you arm drag right into the leg trip. That's my favorite takedown of all time. Up, and then another one from Gabriel Souza. And looks like he gives up the back here. Baby Shark with a beautiful transition to look to attack the back. He's got one hook in. Let's see if he can put the second hook. Gabriel Souza is doing a good job scrambling out. Oh, and then ends back up in the closed guard. Ken Chaloy says, I wonder how these guys would do in the UFC. I think they would do well against the lower level tiers in the UFC, but against the higher level guys, the strikers that are able to negate the ground game and impose their own striking, I think they would struggle. But if you're fighting in the finals of the ADCC, heel hook attempt here, easily defended from Gabriel Souza. But if you're fighting in the finals of the ADCC, you have a lot of potential to do well in the UFC as well. No easy feat to be fighting in the finals of the ADCC. Lots of leg pummeling happening. And they reset them in the center of the ring here. It's really important to be able to leg pummel in jiu-jitsu. Not only you can pummel with your arms, but to be able to pummel with your legs is also really important. Something that's essential for the modern day jiu-jitsu practitioner. Something I definitely show my students, and when I implemented it into my game, I saw great results as well. Gabriel Souza really aggressively trying to pass the guard here, looking for the north-south. Diogo Reyes, Baby Shark, looks to transition into a 50-50 guard and then attack a toe hold on the far leg. You see legends like Leandro Lowe use this tactic before. But the way that Gabriel Souza orientates his foot makes it difficult for Baby Shark to go into the toe hold. And now he exposed a leg lock on his own leg, and Diogo Reyes has a tight toe hold here. This is on, and they both run out of bounds. One thing that is interesting to note, too, is that the lower the weight class, the harder it is to finish some of these toe hold submissions because the joints are a little bit more flexible and the strength is not there. Sometimes in the heavier weight divisions, those leg locks are finished easier. But in a light weight division like this one, it's really hard to tap a small guy with a leg lock like that. Baby Shark really kind of almost selling out for that toe hold here. Here he goes with his guard passing. These guys are really specific in how they use their legs and their frames. There you see Gabriel Souza transition into X guard. The only way to really tap someone at this weight division with a leg lock is through a heel hook, where you just have to tap when it is deep, just like you saw with Mika Galvao, who normally his defense is so good, his guard retention is so good, and it's just so hard to get him to tap to anything. But if you're in a heel hook and you're not able to defend, you have to tap. Similar with Gordon Ryan and Nikki Rod, Nikki's leg that he had to use to defend, the leg that was not in the heel hook, was caught up in the transition. And if you have nowhere to go, if you have nowhere to roll, nowhere to defend, you have to tap to the heel hook, or else it's someone really just cranking on your ligaments. Here we see 9 minutes left in this final between both of these guys. They're in a double underhook to double overhook situation. A nice little foot sweep attempt. Eight minutes left. Both really wrestling here in the standing position. Oh, beautiful arm drag to the leg trip, classic Marcelo Garcia style. And it allows Baby Shark to get to Gabriel Souza's back. A lot of times on the recovery, on the attempt to stand back up from the takedown, you expose your back, which is what happened here. No points yet, no hooks in. But Baby Shark is hanging on the side. He has something called diagonal control now, where he's on the left shoulder and the right leg of Gabriel Souza. He looks to adjust and further his position to get a clean back mount. If he's able to secure the back, he could win the match on points from this back control. And smartly, he's going double underhooks on the back position here. Gabriel Souza is looking to shake him off the top. Oh, and he throws the hook in. Gabriel Souza kicks it off, and then now he throws the hook in again. And it's really close here. Oh, and they give the points to Baby Shark here for the back. Beautiful stuff. Baby Shark having great control here. Oh, and then he actually gets shaked off the top. So, Baby Shark ahead 3-0 here. You're going to see Gabriel Souza really look to up the intensity and try to make something happen here, since he is behind on the scorecards. With 6 minutes and 13 seconds left. It is so hard to score in ADCC rules. A lot of times, especially in the lower weight divisions, you saw higher scores in the higher weight divisions. To be able to keep one of these tiny, skinny little guys on their back, and when it's sweaty and slippery, is tough. And that's why I think you see lower scores generally in the lower weight divisions. But Gabriel Souza really going to have to pull off something major here to get the victory, being behind 3-0 on this point deficit, since it is so hard to score in ADCC. Diogo Reed's bringing his legs with very flexible legs into an attempted leg lock. Gabriel Souza defends. A lot of K-guard transition here. And Baby Shark puts him in 50-50 guard. An excellent strategy to really kind of slow down Gabriel Souza's movement and attack a heel hook and attacks the heel hook here. This is bad news for Gabriel Souza. Behind on points, behind on the board, and behind in the 50-50 guard, stuck in this position. A great strategy, a great tactical play for Baby Shark in this stage of the grappling match. Beautiful combination of submission skills and tactics in this match here. And Baby Shark on a heel hook. Gabriel Souza looking not worried whatsoever. Gabriel Souza looking to do a hand fight here and stop Baby Shark from getting this heel hook. Gabriel Souza back up to his feet. A lot of times it's really hard to finish any leg lock when someone's standing, and you see that here. And Gabriel Souza looking to clear his knee. And his knee brace comes off, and in the middle of the leg lock, he adjusted his knee brace while his leg is still in a bad situation. Kind of a ballsy move there. Kind of saying that no matter what you do, you have no ways to defeat me here. But he's going to get defeated on points, just not a submission. Here we see another leg lock attempt here from Baby Shark. And Gabriel Souza uses it to try to go into a leg lock transition. And Baby Shark defends the line of his hips, where he does not give him access to being able to get underneath him for this counter to the leg lock to the back attack. As I was saying, understanding the transition between the leg locks and the back attacks have become a major, major part of grappling and have been a scramble or conversation had in many, many, many of these matches. Diogo looking to tie up Gabriel Souza and put him in situations that eat up the clock, and is acting very smart with his moves, not only in fighting the physical elements of the match, but also fighting the tactical elements as well. And you see, it's just so hard to pass his guard from here. Gabriel Souza looking to do everything he can with 1 minute and 30 seconds left, going from side to side, looking at Berimbolo, looking to try to take the back. Oh, interesting stuff here. Got close on a back take / pass attempt, but Baby Shark just too wise, too quick to it. Here we are in the half guard again with Gabriel Souza and Baby Shark. Look at that underhook if you're watching that that Baby Shark has. Really so close to his knee shield. Gabriel Souza trying to be creative in his passing attempts here, trying to break apart the legs and guard of Baby Shark here, but man, just so hard to pass Baby Shark's guard. And it's looking like with 10 seconds left, Baby Shark is going to be the minus 66 kilogram ADCC champion here. And he is. Beautiful, beautiful stuff from Baby Shark. Baby Shark hugs his coach, who I think is Mika Galvao's dad. The referee pulls him off of the celebration with his team and brings him back to the center of the mat for the final hand raising, showing that he won. And those are your results for the finals of the men's ADCC, where you see Gordon Ryan winning the plus 99 kilogram, Kanan Duarte winning the minus 99 kilogram, Carlo winning the 88 kilogram, Cade Rotolo winning the under 77 kilogram, and now Baby Shark winning the under 66 kilogram. I will see you guys again 100% for the Andre Galvao versus Gordon Ryan super fight, and I will probably be back as well for the absolute division. Right now, they're going to do some of the female fights, so if you want to keep watching, absolutely go ahead. But I need to rest my voice for the excitement that is to come. Thank you guys so much, and I wish you a great rest of your day. Hold on, we got some more comments here. Ken Chaloya says, your high-level BJJ good friend fights in the UFC. I think he's referring to Rodolfo. He said, and does well. He recently had an operation, but I think he is okay from the operation. I believe he's talking about Rodolfo. Rodolfo is a monster, and Rodolfo actually won the absolute division of the ADCC before he went into MMA. He had a great classic fight in the finals of the ADCC. I think it was with Felipe Pena, and I believe he won. Yeah, I think that's right. Let me double check that. Rodolfo Vieira. Rodolfo Vieira, ADCC. Let me see. Yeah, in the 2015, he won the ADCC World Championship. But who was it against? I think it was against Felipe Pena. Okay, here it breaks down his win-loss. Man, he's got a loss against Rafael Lovato. Wow. Man, all of Rodolfo's records just win, 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 win. Crazy. All right, where's ADCC? ADCC. I don't know. But I'm like 99% sure it was Rodolfo beat Felipe Pena at the ADCC. Anyway, much love, guys, and I will see you all later.